Hey, what's up, guys? Tyler here with Secure Team. Well, the truth is down there. At least, that's according to one UFO expert who says that the U.S. Navy is and has been for quite some time running a top secret program to, quote, detect alien spacecraft under the ocean. So this new report comes about after a leading astronomer and ufologist by the name of Mark D'Antonio says that not only did he witness a USO, which stands for Unidentified Submerged Object, or really just any unknown craft under the ocean, but that he witnessed it while aboard a Navy submarine in the North Atlantic Ocean. Mr. D'Antonio, an astronomer and the chief video analyst for the UFO organization MUFON, said that he witnessed what he believes must have been an alien craft traveling at impossible speeds while he was on board a U.S. Navy submarine. After the sighting, Mark then heard a naval officer ordering the sonar operator to log the unidentified object, which was traveling at, quote, 700 knots, as part of something they called the Fast Mover Program. Currently, most submarine and torpedoes can only go up to about 40 knots due to the resistance from the water, with the unidentified object again moving at around 700. It's said that the Russians reportedly have a torpedo that can go in excess of around 200 knots, but a speed of several hundred knots would appear to be impossible for human-built craft. So how did this all happen, and why was this guy on a submarine to begin with? Well, Mark, who runs a special effects company called FX Models, he has undertaken several naval contracts. And so as part of a thank you for doing some work for them, the Navy asked him if he wanted to go for a ride on a submarine. And so obviously who wouldn't do that? And he said yes, of course. He said, quote, "Once we got under, I was sitting in the sonar station, and the sonar operator was sitting right next to me. Submarines are loud. People think that they're very quiet, and it's true that they are on the outside because the sound doesn't get out. But inside you hear fans, noise, and it's a constant din on the sub." He goes on to say, quote, "I was sitting there zoning out a little because I was seasick, and all of a sudden, the sonar kid shouts, quote, 'Fast mover,' and I'm jolted awake, thinking to myself, what's happening? The executive officer comes out, and the operator shows him the path of the object, and the officer says, 'How fast was that going?' He then reports the sonar operator stated several hundred knots, with the officer then replying, 'Can you confirm it?' So then it's said that the operator went to another sonar machine and confirmed that it wasn't a machine anomaly. It was real, with all of the men obviously thinking how incredible this sighting was. He then says that the sonar guy said, 'What do I do with this?' To which the officer replied, quote, 'Log it and dog it,' which in other words means write it down in the logbook and bury it. 4 years later, Mark said he was doing some more contract work for the Navy when he spoke to a senior naval figure about what he saw. He asked him about this so-called Fast Mover Program, to which the officer replied, 'Sorry, but I can't talk to you about that program.' In turn, obviously confirming that the program existed without really having to say so. What he did say, however, was that these unidentified submerged craft are very common, and it's now obvious that we, at least, have a program in place to classify and log these unidentified craft and to determine the speed of them before going into the vault. So yeah, this is a very interesting development. It goes on to confirm what I've believed for years, and I've talked about this many times on the channel, which is that our ocean is an alien planet all on its own. Alright, forget space, forget outside the solar system. We have an alien planet right here, in a body of water, 90% of which has never been touched by mankind. Only 10%, maybe a little less, of our oceans have ever been explored. And even in many of those cases, these scientists and these researchers and explorers never even get to go down to the bottom to see what's there. And for years now, we have spoken about these USO sightings that have been logged, the eyewitness testimony, and yes, some video and photographic evidence from people who have been on the water, or from pilots who've been flying overhead and have spotted strange lights emerging from the depths below. These objects have been observed coming up from the bottom of the ocean and blasting out of the water towards space, and vice versa. And as I've always said, what more of a perfect place for UFOs or otherworldly craft to hide than right in our own oceans? And here we have been the whole time thinking that this is an off-world issue and phenomenon when they've been here all along. I mean, you sit for a minute and you imagine just how much of the Earth is covered with water, and for miles and miles down, or there could literally be an entire city or cities, complexes of these underwater bases from which many of these objects may be originating. And it's said to be called, again, the Fast Mover Program. So, if any of you guys have heard of the Fast Mover Program or have any more information, or maybe your own USO sighting, put it down in the comments, all right? Let's get a dialogue started. And as always, whenever you guys are out on the lakes or the oceans or the rivers, keep your camera ready, because these things have been seen everywhere. And yes, again, on lakes and rivers. It's not only the ocean. So again, very interesting. Let me know what you think. And before we go today, I want to show you guys some really cool stuff that has been sent to me, or sent to my P.O. box by viewers, trying to, put me in better spirits as I'm healing up. I'm still sitting here, legs swollen, covered in bandages. I pretty much just sit here all day with my leg propped up, can't walk, can't move. And so my wife went today to the UPS store and picked up some packages and some fan mail that were sent in, and so I wanted to feature some of those today. So the first package that I received was sent to me by a man named Jordan from Sweden, who took the time and was nice enough to create these really cool alien head buttons that were accompanied with a very nice letter. Really, really cool, and in fact, I put one on the... It's like this little bag that I attach to the side of my crutches. That way I can put pops in it or put my phone in it when I'm up stumbling around. So big thanks to George for sending this. I've got it on the crutches here, and really, really cool. So the next items that I opened came from a glass blowing artist out of Kansas City, Missouri, who sent me these really cool necklaces, created them out of glass himself, where you heat up the glass and you create the shapes. One is of this really cool 3-fingered alien hand that you're seeing here, and then this really funny alien head with its tongue sticking out. So really creative. Big thanks to Jake for sending these out. Next, I received kind of a goodie package from viewers Jay and Dana out of Palmdale, California, who sent me these really awesome meteorites, each of which is in their own little collector case here, and they're these really small and cool fragments of meteorites that were discovered. It tells the time and date of them, so really, really awesome, and obviously that really resonates with me, so thank you for these. They also sent me this little gizmo here that you turn on, and it has a little antenna you pull out, you point it at stuff, and it can detect whether your phone is bugged, or whether there's any sort of wireless secret cameras or devices or bugging equipment like that. So I took it out and was playing with it, and for some reason it was really lighting up towards one of my cats. So apparently the Men in Black at some point got to and recruited my little feline friend here, but unfortunately for them, their plans have been foiled. So nice try, guys. Next, I have a really cool, I don't know if it's made out of clay or what, but it's really awesome, and it's of a little disc here. And the viewer who sent this in says that it's a bunch of little aliens on the surface of Mars. And you can see here, it says, spelled out in little rocks, "Greetings, secure team." And it's got the tiny little aliens standing here and one inside of a saucer. So really, really cool. And lastly today, I've actually featured this before when I just had the photo of it, but what arrived today was the actual painting that was shipped out to me from Tom of Lefty Creations out of good old Las Vegas, Nevada, who was kind enough to create this just awesome painting, work of art of what looks like some alien planets here, and in the background you can see my alien head logo. So really, really awesome. I'm going to hang this up with pride. And to everyone else who have sent me things, I just have to say thank you. It really warms my heart. And if any of you guys want to send in any pictures or fan mail or anything like that, I will put the address to my UPS box down in the video description. It's not a P.O. box, it's a UPS box. So thanks again to everyone for stopping by. Be sure to subscribe and share on your way out, and stay tuned, because I've got more videos on the way, more mysterious things, and I will see you back in just a bit. Stay safe, guys.